many individuals often resign themselves to the idea that noticeable hair thinning is an inevitable consequence of aging. Perhaps you've observed a widening part line or found more strands than usual clinging to your brush and simply attributed it to the calendar. Yet, what if the true narrative behind your hair's vitality isn't solely dictated by your birth year, but by subtle, systemic shifts within your own physiology? Imbalances that can quietly impede your follicles' ability to thrive. We're not discussing superficial treatments or genetic destiny here, but rather a nuanced interplay of nutritional factors that can profoundly influence the very foundations of hair health. For instance, an often overlooked mineral deficiency can covertly usher hair follicles into a prolonged resting phase, making healthy regrowth seem like a distant memory. This isn't about magical cures. It's about understanding and addressing foundational biological processes. And here's where it gets truly intriguing. One common, seemingly healthy food you might be consuming regularly could unknowingly be exacerbating this internal mechanism, silently undermining your body's efforts to sustain robust hair. We'll delve into how specific dietary choices can either fortify or compromise the intricate ecosystem of your scalp and follicles, offering practical, evidence-informed strategies to help foster a more supportive environment for hair growth. But before we explore certain nutrient-dense foods that can genuinely make a difference, it's crucial to understand two seemingly innocuous dietary components that possess a remarkable capacity to disrupt these vital internal pathways. I've observed countless individuals diligently integrating beneficial nutrients into their regimen, only to find their progress stalled, their follicles stubbornly resisting revitalization. Consider the case of a patient who meticulously incorporated key hair-supporting foods for several months. Her frustration mounted with the lack of visible improvement until we identified and strategically eliminated these two common dietary culprits from her intake. The subtle yet profound shift allowed her body to finally utilize the beneficial nutrients effectively, initiating a noticeable improvement in hair texture and resilience within a matter of weeks. Understanding these potential impediments is not about restriction for its own sake, but about intelligently optimizing your internal environment. So, stay with me as we uncover these significant factors, beginning with how certain foundational nutrients, readily available in everyday foods, can actively support your journey toward healthier, more resilient hair. Let's begin by considering cashews, a nutrient-dense food that often gets overlooked in discussions about hair health. Beyond their naturally cholesterol-free profile, which benefits cardiovascular well-being, cashews are notably gentle on the digestive system and easy to chew, making them an accessible option even for those with dental sensitivities or digestive concerns. This ease of digestion is clinically important because it directly impacts nutrient bioavailability, meaning your body can more effectively absorb the vital compounds cashews offer. What truly positions cashews as a supportive food for hair vitality is their significant contribution of approximately 6 to 7 milligrams of iron per serving, alongside a substantial 18 grams of protein. These aren't merely building blocks, they are foundational elements for sustaining the hair growth cycle. Now, you might be asking, why is iron so singularly critical for hair? Iron is an indispensable component of hemoglobin, the protein in red blood cells responsible for transporting oxygen from your lungs to every cell in your body, including the rapidly dividing cells within your hair follicles. Without sufficient iron, oxygen delivery to these follicles is compromised. In practical terms, this means your hair follicles, which are among the most metabolically active structures in the body, lack the essential oxygen and energy required to sustain a healthy growth phase, also known as the anagen phase. This deficiency can prematurely push follicles into the resting or telogen phase, leading to increased shedding, a condition often termed telogen effluvium. The hair that does manage to grow tends to be thinner, weaker, and more prone to breakage. This is where many people are surprised. This subtle internal mechanism can manifest as visible thinning and slowed regrowth. The challenge is that many individuals are unknowingly experiencing suboptimal iron levels. As we age, factors such as reduced stomach acid production, essential for iron absorption, and potential interactions with certain medications can further impair the body's ability to absorb iron from dietary sources. Additionally, shifts in appetite can lead to a reduced intake of iron-rich foods overall, but cashews offer an additional, equally relevant advantage beyond their iron content. They are remarkably rich in vitamin E. This is where this becomes clinically important for scalp health. Vitamin E functions as a potent antioxidant, meticulously scavenging free radicals that can inflict oxidative stress upon your hair follicles. oxidative stress can contribute to the premature aging of hair, potentially shortening its lifespan and diminishing its quality. By mitigating this stress, vitamin E helps create a more resilient environment for follicular activity. Furthermore, vitamin E is known to support microcirculation to the scalp. In practical terms, this means improved blood flow delivers a more consistent supply of oxygen and nutrients directly to the hair follicles, fostering a more conducive environment for existing follicles to thrive and produce robust strands. This enhanced circulation can also help support the recovery of follicles that might be under stress or performing suboptimally. And this next piece explains why optimal scalp health is so vital. Vitamin E also plays a role in balancing the production of sebum, the natural oil produced by our sebaceous glands. An imbalance, whether too little, leading to dryness and flakiness, or too much, potentially clogging follicles, can disrupt the hair growth cycle. Vitamin E helps maintain this delicate equilibrium, ensuring the scalp remains an optimal foundation for hair health. A fascinating study published in the Journal of Tropical Life Sciences Research in 2010 provided compelling insights. Researchers observed participants experiencing hair loss, and those who received vitamin E supplementation showed a notable increase in hair count, attributed by the researchers to vitamin E's antioxidant properties reducing oxidative stress in the scalp. To seamlessly integrate cashews into your daily routine, consider these straightforward approaches. One practical method involves creating nutrient-dense energy balls. Simply blend 1 cup of raw cashews with half a cup of pitted dates, a tablespoon of ground flaxseed for additional omega-3 fatty acids, and a delicate pinch of cinnamon. Roll this mixture into small, bite-sized portions and refrigerate. Consuming 2 to 3 of these as a mid-morning or afternoon snack not only provides sustained energy and naturally satisfies sweet cravings without processed sugars, but also delivers a concentrated dose of iron, protein, and vitamin E. Another excellent option is a creamy cashew smoothie. Soak approximately a quarter cup of cashews overnight in water. In the morning, drain them and blend with 1 ripe banana, a cup of unsweetened almond milk, a tablespoon of raw honey, and a handful of fresh spinach for an added iron boost. This smoothie is not only palatable, but exceptionally gentle on the digestive system. The soaking process aids in breaking down phytic acid, which can otherwise hinder nutrient absorption, thereby increasing the bioavailability of iron and other vitamins. Finally, for savor integration, consider cashew-crusted salmon. Finely chop half a cup of cashews and combine them with a tablespoon of olive oil, minced garlic, and fresh herbs like parsley or dill. Press this mixture onto salmon fillets and bake at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 to 18 minutes. The synergistic blend of iron-rich cashews and omega-3 rich salmon provides a powerful meal that supports overall follicular health. The healthy fats from both ingredients also enhance the absorption of fat-soluble vitamins like vitamin E. I recall an 82-year-old patient who consulted me, profoundly distressed by her visibly thinning hair, which had once been her pride. Her scalp was increasingly noticeable. After a dietary review, it became clear her protein and nut intake were minimal, largely due to concerns about chewing. I introduced her to cashews, emphasizing their natural softness, and guided her through preparing the smoothie and energy balls. Within 3 months, her hairdresser reported new, fine hairs emerging along her hairline, and by 6 months, her hair displayed noticeable thickening, diminishing her self-consciousness significantly. She now credits her daily cashew smoothie as a cornerstone of her hair health. Another essential nut in this discussion is the pine nut. With approximately 6.6 milligrams of iron per 100 grams, pine nuts offer a substantial contribution to the average daily iron requirement of around 8 milligrams. This means a small handful can significantly support your overall iron status. Yet, pine nuts offer more than just iron. They're also a valuable source of vitamin E and magnesium, which work in concert to establish an optimal environment for hair follicles. The vitamin E in pine nuts acts as a vital protective shield for your hair follicles. It actively combats free radicals, which are unstable molecules that can damage cellular structures and contribute to the premature aging of scalp tissues. When consistently consumed, vitamin E can contribute to strengthening the hair shaft from within, potentially reducing breakage and promoting a natural luster. It also helps to seal moisture into individual hair strands, a particularly important benefit as hair naturally tends to become drier and more brittle with age. This improved moisture retention maintains hair flexibility, making it less susceptible to snapping during routine styling or brushing. Magnesium is equally, if not more, important, and here's what often gets overlooked: its critical role in protein synthesis. Given that hair is predominantly composed of a protein called keratin, adequate magnesium is indispensable for the production of strong, resilient hair strands. Beyond this, magnesium has a lesser known but significant function. It helps to regulate calcium deposits around the hair follicles. An excessive accumulation of calcium can, surprisingly, impede follicular function and potentially hinder the emergence of new hair growth. Furthermore, magnesium contributes to improved local circulation and possesses anti-inflammatory properties within the scalp. Both of these mechanisms create more favorable conditions for sustained hair growth. Low magnesium levels have been directly linked to hair thinning, and it's a deficiency that many individuals may experience without recognizing it. A comprehensive study published in the Archives of Dermatological Research in 2019 underscored the importance of these micronutrients, finding that participants experiencing alopecia exhibited significantly lower levels of magnesium and iron. The study highlighted that addressing these deficiencies, ideally through dietary sources, was associated with noticeable improvements in hair density and reduced shedding over several months. To incorporate pine nuts deliciously into your daily meals, consider a classic pine nut pesto. Blend 2 cups of fresh basil leaves with half a cup of pine nuts, 3 cloves of garlic, half a cup of grated Parmesan cheese, and half a cup of extra virgin olive oil. Season with salt and pepper. This versatile pesto can be tossed with whole grain pasta, spread onto whole grain toast, or utilized as a flavorful marinade for lean proteins. The healthy monounsaturated fats in the olive oil enhance the absorption of the fat-soluble vitamin E from the pine nuts. Another refreshing option is a Mediterranean pine nut salad. Lightly toast a quarter cup of pine nuts in a dry skillet until they are fragrant and golden. Combine them with mixed greens, vibrant cherry tomatoes, crisp cucumber slices, thinly sliced red onion, crumbled feta cheese, and a simple dressing made from fresh lemon juice, olive oil, and dried oregano. This salad is not only light and flavorful, but also rich in nutrients that support overall health, including hair vitality. The vitamin C from the tomatoes and lemon also specifically aids in the absorption of iron from the pine nuts. For a satisfying snack, consider honey-roasted pine nuts. Mix half a cup of pine nuts with 1 teaspoon of honey and a pinch of sea salt. Spread them evenly on a baking sheet and roast at 320 degrees Fahrenheit for 8 to 10 minutes, stirring occasionally. These make an excellent standalone snack and can also be sprinkled over Greek yogurt or oatmeal. I recall a 76-year-old retired teacher who approached me concerned about his receding hairline. While his diet was generally balanced, he seldom consumed nuts, finding them unappealing. After introducing him to pine nuts and the honey-roasted preparation, he found the sweet and savory profile highly enjoyable and began incorporating them as an afternoon snack alongside the pesto in his weekly meals. Within 4 months, he noted his hair felt considerably thicker, a change his barber also commented on. By 8 months, the thinning in his temples had visibly improved, significantly boosting his confidence. He now consistently keeps honey-roasted pine nuts in his pantry, considering them instrumental in supporting his hair health. Finally, let's explore pistachios, another valuable ally for maintaining robust hair. Pistachios provide approximately 4 milligrams of iron per 100 grams, contributing meaningfully to daily iron requirements. However, what truly distinguishes pistachios for hair support is their notable concentration of vitamin B6 and copper, 2 nutrients that play pivotal roles in both preventing excessive shedding and promoting new growth. Vitamin B6, or pyridoxine, is essential for numerous metabolic processes, including the creation of melanin, the pigment that determines your hair's natural color. Beyond coloration, B6 is vital for the optimal production of hemoglobin, thus directly supporting the efficient transport of oxygen to your hair follicles. This means when your follicles receive adequate oxygen, they are better equipped to remain active and healthy, contributing to the production of strong, thick hair strands. Furthermore, vitamin B6 assists your body in metabolizing protein more efficiently. Since hair is primarily composed of keratin, a protein, this metabolic support ensures that the dietary protein you consume can be effectively utilized for building new hair. Additionally, B6 is involved in regulating neurotransmitters that can influence stress responses, which is significant because chronic stress is often linked to hair thinning. Copper is equally essential. And here's a detail many may not realize. It activates specific enzymes that fortify the connective tissues within your hair and scalp. Copper facilitates the formation of disulfide bonds, which are crucial molecular connections that impart strength, elasticity, and structure to hair. Without sufficient copper, hair can become weak, prone to breakage, and its growth rate may diminish. Moreover, copper works synergistically with iron in the formation of red blood cells, thereby enhancing iron's effectiveness in delivering vital oxygen and nutrients to the hair follicles. Beyond this, copper exhibits natural anti-inflammatory properties that can help soothe scalp conditions such as mild irritation or dandruff, which, if persistent, can potentially impede follicular function and compromise hair growth. A study published in the Biological Trace Element Research Journal in 2013 investigated trace mineral levels in patients experiencing premature hair graying and hair loss. The findings indicated that individuals with hair concerns often presented with significantly lower levels of copper and iron. The researchers suggested that addressing copper deficiencies through dietary means could be associated with improvements in hair thickness and color retention over time. To introduce pistachios into your diet with ease and enjoyment, consider these three practical suggestions. First, create a custom pistachio and cranberry trail mix. Combine 1 cup of shelled pistachios with half a cup of dried cranberries, a quarter cup of dark chocolate chips, and a quarter cup of pumpkin seeds. Mix thoroughly and store in an airtight container. A small handful as a mid-morning or afternoon snack provides sustained energy, naturally satisfies sweet cravings, and delivers a powerful blend of iron, copper, B vitamins, and antioxidants. A second delightful option is a creamy pistachio smoothie bowl. Blend half a cup of shelled pistachios with 1 frozen banana, half a cup of Greek yogurt, a quarter cup of unsweetened almond milk, and a teaspoon of raw honey. Pour this into a bowl and adorn with fresh berries, thinly sliced almonds, and a sprinkle of ground flaxseed. This aesthetically pleasing and nutritionally rich bowl offers additional protein from the Greek yogurt and vitamin C from the berries, which further supports iron absorption from the pistachios. Finally, for a complete meal, consider pistachio-crusted chicken. Chop 3/4 of a cup of shelled pistachios and mix them with 2 tablespoons of Dijon mustard, 1 tablespoon of olive oil, minced garlic, and fresh thyme. Coat chicken breasts with this aromatic mixture and bake at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for 25 to 30 minutes until golden and thoroughly cooked. The combination of protein-rich chicken with nutrient-dense pistachios provides a comprehensive meal that supports follicular health from various angles. I once worked with a 68-year-old retired nurse who was deeply saddened by her progressively thinning hair, which had significantly impacted her confidence. She had explored various topical solutions with little success. Upon reviewing her dietary habits, I noted a significant absence of nuts and seeds. I introduced her to pistachios and guided her through preparing the trail mix and smoothie bowl, which she found both convenient and enjoyable. Within 2 months, she reported a noticeable reduction in hair shedding and improved texture. By 5 months, she observed visible new growth along her hairline and crown, a transformation that even her dresser remarked upon. She now consistently incorporates pistachios into her daily intake and has regained a sense of self-assurance. Now, before you embark on incorporating cashews, pine nuts, and pistachios into your dietary regimen, it is imperative to address a crucial aspect. The benefits derived from these nutrient-dense foods may be significantly diminished if certain other dietary components remain unaddressed. I have observed this pattern repeatedly in clinical practice. For example, a patient diligently consumed hair-supporting nuts daily for 4 months, yet experienced no perceptible improvement in her hair density or quality. Her frustration was palpable until we identified 2 specific dietary culprits she was still regularly consuming. The moment these were systematically removed from her diet, while continuing her nutrient-rich nut intake, her hair began to show visible signs of improvement within approximately 6 weeks. Another individual experienced a remarkably similar trajectory despite a nutritionally sound foundation. Persistent hair shedding continued until we pinpointed and eliminated these key impediments from his diet. So pay very close attention to this next section, because understanding and addressing these factors can be a decisive element in supporting your hair health journey. The first dietary component that can inadvertently compromise your hair health is excessive sugar. Elevated sugar consumption often leads to rapid and significant fluctuations in blood glucose levels, triggering your body to produce an increased amount of insulin. This insulin surge can, in turn, stimulate the production of androgens, specifically dihydrotestosterone or DHT. DHT is a hormone recognized for its role in contributing to the miniaturization of hair follicles, rendering them less capable of producing strong, healthy hair strands. Over extended periods, This miniaturization can cause follicles to become dormant, potentially leading to noticeable thinning in susceptible areas. Beyond its hormonal impact, elevated sugar intake also promotes systemic inflammation throughout the body, including the delicate environment of the scalp. This chronic inflammation can directly damage hair follicles, disrupt the natural hair growth cycle, and prematurely signal hairs into the resting and shedding phases. What's more, sugar can interfere with the optimal absorption of vital nutrients like iron, zinc, and various B vitamins, precisely the compounds your follicles require for robust growth. This might sound technical, but here's what it means practically. Even if you are diligently consuming foods rich in these nutrients, high sugar intake can effectively create a bottleneck, preventing your body from fully utilizing them. It's akin to attempting to fill a bucket that has a persistent leak. A study published in the journal PLOS One in 2022 explored dietary patterns and their correlation with hair loss, finding a significant association between high sugar intake and male pattern baldness among participants. The researchers concluded that reducing sugar consumption could be a supportive strategy for individuals experiencing hair loss. Therefore, strategic alternatives to refined sugars are important. Opt for natural sweeteners such as raw honey, pure maple syrup, or dates, always in moderation, as they offer additional micronutrients. Replace sugary snacks with whole fruits like berries, apples, and oranges, which provide natural sweetness alongside beneficial fiber and vitamins. Swap sugary beverages for water, herbal teas, or infused water with natural flavors like lemon and cucumber. When baking, consider using mashed bananas or unsweetened applesauce as natural sweetening agents. The core principle here is to gradually re-educate your palate to appreciate natural sweetness rather than the intense, often artificial sweetness found in processed products. The second dietary factor that can subtly undermine your hair health is the pervasive presence of ultra-processed foods. These are products meticulously engineered for convenience and extended shelf life, typically containing ingredients not commonly found in a home kitchen, such as hydrogenated oils, high fructose corn syrup, artificial flavors, preservatives, emulsifiers, and a variety of chemical additives. This category encompasses items like packaged snacks, frozen ready meals, instant noodles, processed meats, many types of packaged breads, sugary breakfast cereals, and fast food. These foods are designed more for commercial efficiency than for nutritional benefit, and their cumulative impact on hair health can be significant. Ultra-processed foods often contain unhealthful fats, including trans fats and hydrogenated oils, which can contribute to arterial stiffening and reduced overall circulation. This reduction in blood flow can extend to the microcapillaries supplying your hair follicles, leading to diminished delivery of oxygen and vital nutrients. When follicles receive inadequate nourishment, hair growth may slow, strands can become brittle, and shedding may increase. These foods are also frequently high in sodium, which can contribute to systemic dehydration, impacting the moisture content and resilience of your hair and scalp, making strands more susceptible to breakage. Furthermore, the chemical additives and artificial ingredients in ultra-processed foods can trigger widespread systemic inflammation, including inflammatory responses within the scalp. This chronic inflammation can damage hair follicles and disrupt their natural growth cycle. Crucially, ultra-processed foods are often nutritionally vacuous. They provide calories without offering the essential vitamins, minerals, and proteins required for building strong, healthy hair. When these foods displace nutrient-dense whole foods from your diet, they can inadvertently create deficiencies in critical nutrients like iron, zinc, and B vitamins. Your body simply cannot construct vibrant, resilient hair from substandard inputs. A compelling study published in the British Medical Journal in 2024, involving a large cohort over several decades, found a strong association between high consumption of ultra-processed foods and increased markers of inflammation and oxidative stress, both of which are directly implicated in hair thinning and premature aging. The study also highlighted that individuals with higher ultra-processed food intake often presented with lower levels of essential nutrients in their blood. Therefore, making informed swaps for ultra-processed foods is a strategic move for holistic health, including hair vitality. Replace packaged snacks with whole, unprocessed alternatives, such as nuts, fresh fruit, vegetable sticks with hummus, or homemade energy bites. Instead of frozen ready meals, consider batch cooking wholesome meals using fresh ingredients like lean proteins, whole grains, and a variety of vegetables, then freezing portions yourself. Opt for fresh cuts of chicken, fish, turkey, or plant-based proteins like beans and lentils over processed meats. Substitute sugary cereals with steel-cut oats, whole grain toast with natural nut butter, or Greek yogurt topped with fresh berries. For instance, noodles, choose whole grain pasta or spiralized zucchini noodles paired with homemade sauces. The overarching goal is to prioritize foods that originate directly from nature, requiring minimal processing and offering maximum nutritional value. I want to be transparent about this. If you continue to regularly consume excessive sugar and ultra-processed foods while attempting to integrate these beneficial nuts, your efforts to support your hair health may yield less than optimal results. It's an analogy of trying to fill a bathtub while the drain remains open. You might observe minor improvements, but achieving the more significant changes in hair quality and density you desire will likely prove challenging. However, if you commit to significantly reducing or eliminating these two detrimental dietary components while consistently incorporating cashews, pine nuts, and pistachios into your routine, you are likely to experience noticeable differences. Your hair may begin to feel thicker and stronger. You might observe a reduction in shedding when brushing or showering. Over time, new, finer hairs may start to emerge along your hairline and crown. Your existing hair can become shinier and more resilient. Over several months, you may see visible improvements in areas that had been thinning. The path forward involves a conscious choice. You can continue with existing dietary patterns and anticipate a different outcome, or you can implement these measured yet powerful changes starting today. Begin by integrating cashews, pine nuts, and pistachios into your daily diet using the practical suggestions we've explored. Simultaneously, prioritize reducing your sugar intake by opting for natural sweeteners and whole fruits. Work towards eliminating ultra-processed foods, replacing them with whole, natural foods that genuinely nourish your body. If you consistently apply these principles over the next 3 to 6 months, you are highly likely to observe a positive shift in your hair's condition. It's crucial to understand that biological processes require time. Your hair follicles need a realistic timeline to heal, strengthen, and resume producing healthy strands. However, by providing the right nutritional support and consciously removing inhibitory factors, you empower your body with the optimal environment to support its inherent capacity for hair vitality. Your hair and your confidence deserves this mindful investment. This content is educational only and not medical advice. For persistent concerns, consult a qualified professional. Please consider subscribing to our channel for more evidence-informed health insights. And I'd love to hear from you. In the comments below, please share your current age and one specific health concern or question you have about supporting your hair's resilience.